Okay, this is going to be my video log for creating a Windows server. I'm going to be using the Windows Server 2019 and Windows 10 as my client. Um, I did get this video, or excuse me, this tutorial from Josh Madakor. I'm actually recreating it. I took notes on his video and I'm recreating it for my own practice. Um, if anybody's ever seen that video, you remember this diagram. This is basically what I'm going to be creating in this series of videos that I'm making. Uh, so let's get started. So we have VirtualBox open. The first thing I want to do is create a new machine. So we're going to go to New, and we're going to create a new machine that we will call Server 2019, and we will set it at other Windows 64-bit. We're not going to select the ISO image at this time, and that'll be fine. We're going to go to next. We will use two CPUs. For base memory, we'll use 2048, and we'll click next. 20 gigabytes should be good enough hard drive. We're not going to really be doing much on it, so it's just a lab. Okay, so now we've finished. So now we've got that on there. So the first thing we need to do before we start it up, we want to go to the settings menu here. We want to go to System, General, we're going to go to Advanced, and we're going to make these bidirectional. And that way we can copy and paste from our desktop to our network. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to network adapters. We're going to have two adapters here. We're going to have a NIC internet and then a NIC internal. So we're going to set those up right now. So the first one we're going to leave as NAT. We're not going to make any changes to that one. We're going to go to adapter 2, and we're going to click second adapter. And then that one we are going to set to internal network, and we'll leave the name as internal net. Okay, and we'll hit OK. And now that we've done that, we can start the VM. We're going to start the VM, and it's going to prompt us for a ISO image. And we are going to so we're going to go here. We're going to select the ISO image, which in my case is here. It's on my OS folder. I have Windows 2019 server that I downloaded off the internet. You get a 190 80-day trial with that one, so that's good because that's a enough time to practice. Okay, we're going to hit mount and retry boot. And we're going to maximize this to full screen, and we are going to install Windows Server in the VirtualBox. Okay, it's coming up. We're going to hit next. We're going to hit install now. We're installing. Okay, we're going to hit desktop experience, standard desktop experience. If we just do the standard evaluation without the desktop experience, then we only have a command line. We don't have any kind of GUI interface. So we want to make sure we hit desktop experience. We hit next. And we accept the terms. Hit next. We're going to do a custom install. 20 gig on our hard drive. We're going to hit next. And we're going to copy the files. Sometimes this takes a little time. Okay, when it gets here, you don't want to press any key. If you touch a key, it'll go back to the boot menu and start over again. Okay, now it's finally logged in. Took about 5 minutes. We're going to create a password. I'm using just a standard password 1 because it's a lab. Definitely wouldn't want to use that for a real world example, but mine's just a lab and a virtual box, so it doesn't matter. Okay, now we finally installed. Now here it's saying press Control Alt Delete, but because you're in a VM, you cannot press Control Alt Delete. It doesn't work. So you have two options. You can go up here to Devices. I'm sorry, Input Keyboard, and hit Insert Control Alt Delete, and that will allow you to bring it in. Or you can also hit Host and Delete. If you look it up online, that Host and Delete for Windows computers will be the right control button and the delete button. So now you log in using your password that you just created. Okay. So now we're logged in as the admin. All right. So now we're logged in. Now the next thing we want to do, again, is we need to install the guest editions. Now, if you go up here to devices, insert guest edition CD image. We don't need this right now, and we don't need this. And then if you go down here, as you can see here, we have a 180-day trial. So if you go down here and you hit this, and you go to PC, and you see here CD drive. Now we want to install the AMD 64 package. Now what this does is this gives us the ability to do full screen on our Windows Server. So instead of dealing with just this little box here, it'll actually expand it to be the full screen. When you download VirtualBox, if you've never downloaded it, you'll see something about a guest experience package. Okay, we're going to reboot again. Okay, and then after that, while that's rebooting, the next thing we're going to do is log back in. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our networks. Okay, so go down here to the network adapter, click on it, go to network and internet settings. All right, and then change the adapter options. Now, as you can see, there's two here, because if you remember right, when we set up our VirtualBox, we set up two adapters, adapter 1 and adapter 2. So in here, what we have to do is we have to identify which ones are which. So this one here, if we go to properties, and we go to, if we just click on it. Yeah, if we click on it, it says this one has internet access here. And if we click on this one has no network access. So this one is our internal one. So we can rename this one to, say, internal. And then this one we can rename to, say, internet. Internet. All right. And that way we have the two networks and we know which one we want to be on. All right. So now that we've identified which one is the internal, which one's the internet one, we want to go to the internal one, and we want to go down to properties, and we're going to go to ICE Internet Protocol version 4. We'll hit properties again. Now this one has a static IP. We want to set a dynamic IP here. So what we want to do is we want to say we're going to make this in 172.16.0.1 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Okay, so this is what we're going to use as our static IP. If you set it right here, you have a dynamic one. If you set it here, you have a static IP. So that's going to be our static IP. That's going to be that. We're not going to have a default gateway because this is a server. This is actually going to act as a default gateway. And so now we want to set the DNS server. So if we're going to do 127.0.0.1, which basically is a loopback address that refers to itself. Okay, we're going to hit OK. And then we're going to hit close. And then we're going to close this out of here. And close this. And close this. And then I'm not sure if we have to reboot or not, but we'll do a restart. Okay. All right, let me log in. Okay, and there we go. And if we want to test out that we have internet, we type in and bring up a command prompt. And we can do an IP config and see there's our IP address for the internal one. There's our IP address for the internet one. And if we go ping 8.8.8.8, which is the Google DNS server, you'll see we're pinging it just fine and we have internet access. So we can close out of that. Okay, so that's it. So we set up an internal network settings. We set those. And then we also set up our virtual box to have Windows Server installed. Next, we're going to set up the Active Directory. That'll be in the next video. Thank you.